right, good morning, and thank you everyone for coming to the launch event for Registry Week and Madison 2016. My name is Matt Kozlowski, and I'm the Registry Week coordinator. Today here we'll have speakers including Dane County Executive Joe Parisi, Madison Mayor Paul Soglin. We'll have Steve Schooler from Porchlight and Dean Lumos from Housing Initiatives, as well as Elizabeth Goki from the Veterans Affairs Administration, as well as many other supporters from other agencies and other grassroots organizations here in Madison that work on issues of homelessness. Before we get started here, I just want to give a quick introduction of what Registry Week is and what Madison 2016 is and why we're all here. So 2016 is a national campaign of communities to end veteran and chronic homelessness by the end of 2016. Communities around the country are going out, hitting the streets, talking and getting to know their homeless neighbors, and identifying the problems and barriers people face to housing. Here in Madison, we're kicking off our 2016 campaign with Registry Week, where we'll have volunteers from faith-based communities, we'll have volunteers and members of agencies, as well as the community at large, hitting out the common places where people sleep or people congregate during the day, and getting people signed up on this new housing list and assessed for what kind of risk factors and barriers people face to getting in housing. Our goal is to end veteran homelessness by the end of this year, 2015, and chronic homelessness by the end of 2016. And I'll have more for you at the end here after we hear from our other speakers. But first, it's my honor to introduce Madison Mayor Paul Soglin.
Thank you. There's been a lot of work conducted over the past year towards reaching this goal. Through a number of agencies, we've worked very diligently in regards to obtaining more VASH vouchers, working closely with the Veterans Administration in regards to providing support and the necessary efforts to accommodate many of the needs of homeless veterans. I want to point out that this goal officially is focused on veterans who were honorably discharged. Unfortunately, the VASH vouchers are difficult and cannot be used for veterans who have less than an honorable discharge. We're going to have to work with them separately, and we're going to have to use a different set of resources. I also want to point out one of the great challenges that we're going to have and a possible embarrassment for our community, which is we may get to the end of 2015 and find ourselves in a situation where there are still homeless veterans, chronic homeless veterans on the streets, and we have not utilized these incredibly valuable VASH vouchers. This is a challenge for all of us, and gets to the point that we have many chronically homeless individuals who, for a number of reasons, particularly related to substance abuse and related to mental health challenges, who will not and refuse to go into supportive housing. This means we need alignment from everyone involved, from those who provide charitable services to those who provide the supervised housing settings to those who provide the counseling. I want to mention that one of the great values of the Zero Committee is that we've got folks here who are experts in this area, who are committed to the notion of zero homelessness among veterans by the end of the year. But we do need everyone's support in terms of reaching this goal. Thank you.
Hey, we're talking. I'm going to put $5 in the bank. You kidding? If I had a homeless man in the room.
Thank you very much.
I mean it.
Thank you very much. Next we have Dane County Executive Joe Parisi up here. Thank you much, Joe.
Thanks, Matt.
Here's $5 for the homeless. My name's Richard Amacher. Help them. They're hungry.
Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it very much. I'd like to also thank Dean and Steve and everyone who's here today for pulling this together and for your commitment. I want to recognize also Dan Connery, the Dane County Vet Service Officer, who is part of our partnership and who has a very strong commitment to helping our vets. So Dan, thank you for being here today too. As we all know, homelessness is a complex issue. It requires a comprehensive approach. There is no one set of homeless individuals. It's issues like poverty, domestic violence, drug abuse, mental illness, and unaffordable housing all contribute to this challenge. But in the county, with cooperation with the City of Madison, the county's homeless service providers, we all share a goal of ending homelessness. In the 2015 county budget, we worked to prioritize housing and homeless support. In 2015, the budget included more than $1.8 million in funding to support housing and homeless services and a $2 million capital commitment to increase the availability of affordable housing throughout Dane County. We fund 4 programs that provide emergency shelter to single men, single women, and families. Most of these shelter programs provide on-site case management to individuals and families and help them find stable housing, employment training, medical care, and other services. We're also creating more affordable housing. An additional historic investment in increasing affordable housing was included in the 2015 county budget, as well with the creation of the Affordable Housing Fund, an $8 million commitment over the next 4 years. I think I saw Supervisor Whiteleitner here. I'd like to recognize her for her good work. In 2014, the county partnered with the City of Madison in what is referred to as the Rescue Project, the creation of 60 new units of permanent housing for chronically homeless single adults that will operate under the Housing First model. Again, survivors of domestic violence face unique challenges when it comes to housing services, which is why we work with Domestic Abuse Intervention Services to help fund emergency hotel vouchers for families in need when the day shelter is running at capacity. And the county was also proud to step up and provide $2.5 million to help days complete their new shelter last year. Homelessness prevention is also an important piece of this puzzle. We can't just start addressing homelessness after people become homeless, which is why we've created, on one hand, the Youth Eviction Prevention Fund that helps families facing a financial emergency maintain their housing and in hopes of avoiding homelessness in the first place. The county also helps fund grants to the CAC, Community Action Coalition, that helps families facing eviction maintain their housing as well. And we fund day services operations at 2 facilities, Bethel Lutheran Church in downtown Madison and Hospitality House, run by Steve Schooler in Porchlight, which also helps people connect to services. Again, no one organization or group of people is going to end homelessness on their own. It's important that we work together with efforts like we're moving forward with and talking about today, because everyone has a role to play in this very complex issue. And we're really blessed to have people like Dean and Steve here taking a nuts and bolts approach and pulling people together and pulling resources and taking the resources we have in our community and multiplying them by drawing in outside resources and working through initiatives like today that will draw in resources from the VA and elsewhere. So thanks again to everyone in this room who works on this issue and all of the folks standing with me today. We really appreciate it very much. Thank you.
All right, and next up we have Elizabeth Goki from the VA, who is the HUD VASH and Housing Specialist.
The Veterans Health Administration has had an initiative since 2010 to end veteran homelessness. In Madison, we have been working towards these goals through our HUD VASH, Grant Per Diem, and Veteran Justice Outreach programs. We have had successes, and we are happy to partner with the city, the county, and Madison nonprofits in the Zero in 2016 campaign. I want to thank all the landlords who are currently housing the veterans in our programs. Without landlords, it would be impossible to reach our goal. I work in our HUD VASH program, which through a partnership with CDA, provides Section 8 vouchers to veterans along with case management. I spend my days visiting the veterans in their homes, and almost every day I am told what a difference this program has made in their lives. Having a stable place to live has allowed veterans to find jobs, reunite with family, and work towards recovery from mental health or substance abuse issues. As much success as we've had, we're not done yet. There are still homeless veterans, and the vacancy rate in Madison adds an additional challenge to our work. If just 150 landlords in Madison made the commitment to set aside 1 unit for a homeless veteran, we would be able to end veteran homelessness. Woo! For more information or to sign up to house a veteran, please visit danecountyhomeless.org. Let us work together to make veteran homelessness a thing of the past. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And next up, we have Steve Schooler from Porchlight. Dr. Steve.
An oft-quoted proverb, Chinese proverb, observes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Today, with the initiation of this campaign, and today with the initiation of Registry Week, we begin an important journey. First step in solving any problem, obviously, is finding out what the problem is. The Registry Week and the attempt to make contact with a lot of these folks that are here at the City County building and around Madison will enable us to better understand what the challenges and issues of these folks are, and then be able to accommodate their needs and provide the housing and resources necessary. We are also at Porchlight dedicating an outreach worker over the summer and fall months that will actually work and focus in the City County building in this area, that will provide outreach services, make the connections necessary, make the assessments necessary, and actually provide some direct assistance possible to allow and enable these folks to get into housing. We've also committed 16 units of housing to chronically homeless individuals. We are also prioritizing another 16 units of housing for chronically homeless individuals. And we are in the process of putting together a project that will provide significant low-cost housing, including 5 dedicated units for chronically homeless and/or veterans. These are small steps, but they're steps nevertheless on the way to the end goal. Porchlight will not be able to do this all by itself, obviously. What it takes for a journey of this sort is a community effort. A community effort made up of our partners, city and county, made up of all of you that are here today that care, the volunteers, and other partners that provide the funding that is necessary to provide the low-cost housing units, which is an absolute essential, and as importantly, the service that is necessary. Clearly, this is going to be a difficult challenge, but unless we start that journey and make that the journey's goal, we'll never get there. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for participating in our efforts to end veterans' homelessness and conflict.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Dean Lumos from Housing Initiatives. Thank you, Dean.
Well, thank you all for coming here. And in Steve's words, I could heartily second that. Housing Initiatives, where I work, currently houses almost 50 homeless veterans. And what you've heard a lot about in the last campaign was the idea of housing first. In my comments today, really I had to explain the significance of these words, particularly the first two, housing first. To house homeless people using this model, it is essential that the community have the units available to provide the housing. Particularly when we have such low vacancy rates, historically low vacancy rates in this city. Now there are some supportive private landlords, but that have stepped up, and we really thank them. And they've offered some of their apartments, but realistically, the partners that are going to join together to solve this problem are the city and county efforts with their funding and through Porchlight and Housing Initiatives. We'll be able to create these units to house these significant numbers at a pretty quick way. Both Porchlight and my program are involved in housing development as we speak. We should be able to make a large dent and hopefully at least use up all the VASH vouchers and work with other programs that work with the other vets. It's important to understand that all these programs are going to be coordinated, and we do have partners, particularly the mayor and support of alders, the county exec, and the support of many county supervisors that are really putting, really understood that they had to put some real dollars to assist programs like ours in creating the units that we can house these folks. We should be able to develop enough units to house all the veterans with this type of partnership. Housing initiatives, we've been following the Housing First model in spirit, and so has Steve's program. We get people in the housing when we have a unit available. Sometimes it's not right away, but work with people, notice them, say you're next up, and as soon as the unit's available, we contact them, we'll move them in that afternoon, whether or not it's furnished or not. We'll take care of that once we get them there. So I would encourage all of you to support both Porch Light and our efforts, housing initiatives, in developing these units. That is really the only way we're going to be able to solve this problem. So, Matt, an event like this cannot be handled and finished all the way through without an experienced organizer, and we're fortunate to have Matt take a little time out of his other job and come over here and coordinate this effort at registering, identifying, and then hooking up everyone who could be chronically homeless as a veteran and get them into our intake system so that we can then prioritize the housing and gear it towards all folks that are really struggling outside. So Matt, you want to come and finish us up here?
Yeah, come on.
Well, thank you very much. That was very warming. So just a couple of closing thoughts here. You know, we heard a common thread through everyone and all the agencies and all the organizations, faith-based communities, and just the community at large, that this is a problem we can't solve as any one group, any one agency, not just the city, not just the county. It's time for us to all come together in one collective effort to build the resources and to build the manpower and person power we need to end this problem once and for all. You know, this is a moral imperative for our community, and I have to say I'm overwhelmed by the level of support we've seen in the community throughout the Homeless Services Consortium and the agencies that are involved there, grassroots organizations like Feeding the State Street Family, or Friends of the State Street Family, Stone Soup, as well as the faith-based communities like Bethel Lutheran Church and First United Methodist Church, and all these organizations and volunteers that have just come from everywhere, from Reddit to Facebook and other places, funny enough. So, this is a real opportunity for us as a community. If to find out more or to sign up to get involved, please visit DaneCountyHomeless.org and look for 02016 on our website there. That's the website of the Homeless Services Consortium. Or for more information, you can always contact me. My email is madison02016@gmail.com, or you can find my information in the press packet. If you haven't gotten a press packet, see Carl in the back there. But thank you all. If you have any questions, please direct them towards us. But thank you all for being here.